shock you with a statistic. Today, the INEC registration that is going on, Northerners are not enthusiastic about it. Because the man that they were voting for, killing themselves for, has not lifted them out of poverty. The worst road in Nigeria that I have traveled on, I'm not saying everywhere, in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, is the Kano-Kaduna Expressway that passes through Zaria. Buhari did not touch it in the last 3 years. You think they don't know that? They know that. They know that, of course, he has fanatical supporters. That is true. But I also have people that I don't want to call fanatical, but I have good supporters too, who are young people. At the end of the day, the 12 million votes he used to collect also came from, or that he used to receive in every, they also come from Plateau, they come from Taraba, they come from Benue. The people of Benue are not voting for Buhari in 2019. The people of Plateau are not voting for Buhari in 2019. The people of Southern Kaduna, listen, sir. The people of Southern Kaduna, yes, the people of Southern Kaduna, because of what he has done to them, abandoning them to these people who are killing them, are not voting for. The people of, look, the worst place where killings are happening in Nigeria today is not, it's Zamfara.
Even what you say,
yes.
During time for a coup, they killed a lot of them.
Yes.
So they can't vote for him.
All those calculations that we used to have about Buhari, that is why I'm telling you the best opportunity we have in a long time to change the leadership of Nigeria is 2019.
Yeah, it's now.
The people of Southern Kaduna, the people of Taraba are not voting for Buhari in the next election. These are places he used to clear. So this Buhari myth is a myth that has disappeared by his own design.
Yes.
I'm telling you. So don't let us deceive ourselves. Buhari will lose this election in a very clean way. Because even the Northerners that we are talking about not as if it's one monolithic group. There are Christians in the north.
Yes.
There are animists in the north. Yes. There are straight people in the north. There are gay people in the north. They call them Dandaud. Right? So the north is not just one monolithic. It's not Buhari's hometown. Even Daura, his hometown, has the highest number of drug addicts. These people who are on codeine, they are there. Yes. And people are not taking drugs because they are happy. It's because there's too much pressure on them. Sir, I appreciate what you have said, but I have just also returned from home. The people of your state, Kogi, are not voting for Buhari in this next election. The people of Kwara are not voting for Buhari in this next election. So all those block votes that he used to have is gone. I'm glad you are from Kogi. The man that is hated most in Kogi today is Buhari's campaign manager, Bayville, the governor of Kogi. Yes. So, if the campaign manager of Buhari is not popular in Kogi, how is Buhari going to win Kogi? You are blessed with two terrible people. Dino Melai and Yaya Bello. And they are the reason why sometimes I don't want to call myself a youth. Because these are disgraceful young people who have come to make a mess of being young in politics. So don't let us overhype Buhari. The only reason Buhari won the last election was because he was able to take his politics beyond the Niger Bridge. The people of South are not voting for Buhari. People of Southeast will not vote for Buhari because of his Operation Python Dance. Yes, Operation Crocodile in the South. The people of Southwest are not voting for Buhari. Southwest. The whole of the South this time around is nil for Buhari. If Buhari gets 3,000 votes in the Southeast in this next election, that means it's rigging. Yes. Where is he going to get it from?
That's the question that I want to ask.
So, if, no. They are not, what I'm saying, sir, is that they can't even read 3,000 out of the Southeast in this next election. I'm telling you, they cannot get to, well, you can only rig where you can win. Who is going to rig the election? Is it you, Coppers, or INEC? So, Southwest, tell me where it's going to win in. The APC just imploded in Ekiti. Go and read the papers now. You have internet in front of you. All the congresses they just did yesterday. Inconclusive across. The APC has imploded, is waiting to explode. Yes. This is the best time for us. Don't let us be analyzing.
I know that.
Yes.
I'm there.
Yes. So yes, let's just join hands together. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Take it back.
Everything they have been using, the politics of division, all of it will fail. Money will fail. This Ekiti thing that they had that caused problem, they spent money. They gave each delegate 500,000. When it was time to count the election, you saw it until somebody just came and kicked. The video is gone viral and kicked everything off. Police were looking at them because the police also is conniving with. So there's no way out for him, and I'm sure he knows. This is in addition to the fact that the man is not well. If you were to be, in my view, if Buhari were to be a man of dignity that they call him, this is the time to play Mandela in Nigeria. Look at it and say, look, I've tried one time, I can't do it, I'm not strong anymore. Nigeria, please go find a different leader. But I'm not even sure that it's Buhari that is contested. It's the cabal around him. But I do not like the excuse we give them by saying, oh, he's a good man, he's surrounded by bad people. How is it that a good person is always surrounded by bad people in Nigeria? Yes, and I'll tell you, they've just been manipulating us. They've just been manipulating us, and the manipulation is going to end in 2019. So, the Northerners, Southerners, they are all looking for a better life. In fact, the Northerners are desperately in need of better life than Southerners because their own poverty is worse in the North. I am not denigrating the North, it's the reality. You just need to drive to the North. You know that the poverty there is, and if you talk to an average Northerner, by the way, which we did, they realize that they need to send their children to school. The same way the person in the South also wants to send their children to school. So there's no big deal about it. They want better life, and they have discovered that this turn-by-turn politics cannot deliver it. Thank you. So we need to go to the number. I'm 11. Can you just stop at number 7? Yes. So we're number 8. Number 8.
8, 9, 10.
9?
I'm 8.
Oh, okay. Quick. Let's go.
All right, my name is Olaje. Okay, for someone like me, my generation, we look up to somebody like Sowore. So, actually, I have 2 questions. Okay, but I will just merge it to one. So, we have this other presidential aspirant. I think his name is Omoyele. Yeah, and which is, I think, in the same kind of league with you. So, because I believe you're counting on the youth votes. So, how are you going to handle that? Also, I read online, not only online, I talked to my friends that are still in Nigeria, and I realized that most of them, their mentality hasn't changed. And I was once in their shoe, and I can see most of them, even, I've read some comments against you, like, oh yeah, you should just face Sahara reporters and stuff and don't contest for presidency, even though I feel that they're wrong because you actually setting the pace for us. It's not only about you, it's all about people like us, the youth coming up. So how do you gonna deal with that? The youth that still have this, mentality about Nigeria, the way they see things, the way we see things over here is not the way they see things. So they still have this belief like it's either they bring money, then we go and vote, stuff like that. So I think you understand why. Yeah.
Number 10.
Hi, my name is Francis Ode. One of the reasons why I'm coming, I'm also a squash player. I used to be one of the Nigerian top players, even actually Nigerian #1 player in the country before I left the country. And also represented the USA in squash. I've been all over the world with Nigerian squash actually, and also the USA. One reason why I'm saying that I would just want to come up to you guys. I really appreciate you. I've been following Sahara reporters for a long time. And I don't know, it's Kayode or that's where I started from before I I went to Yabatek. I went to last one Yabatek. I remember when Buhari Babangida threw everybody in jail. They even came to Yabatek, picked someone as a student leader. I was in school there when they started. One reason why I'm coming up is I'm into sports. We are one of the most underrated voters Nigeria don't appreciate. We are over 10,000 in America. Athletes. You can name Omoyele, you can name Akin Olajuwon. This is how I said. Divino immunity in tennis. We have volleyball players. We have tennis players. We have all of them. Why do we leave? We left Nigeria because of this issue, the whole corruption. And sports also now, it's wonders the way these people take money out to finance their elections. If you send athletes right now, for example, what happened at the Winter Olympics, these guys funded themselves to the Olympics. Guess what happened? It's time for Olympics. Nigeria sent delegates. Not one, not two, not three, not four, over 10 to 12 delegates. They spent millions of naira just to go and watch those girls. But when those girls were looking for money, nobody helped. And when that's same thing we're doing. I have been to Nigeria so many times. I went to the ministers. We sent them a proposal how to develop sport. Just what we the tax issue. We asked them to also use part of the tax from the companies. We went to Julius Bajo. The first thing they tell us, what are we going to get in it? We went through to the different companies, used part of the tax to finance sports in Nigeria. We brought a proposal. That thing never got up. They killed it because they're not going to make money from it. I really want to appeal to you to really appeal to them, just reach out to these athletes in diaspora, especially in America. If you can reach out to them, they will really going to support you. And for me, I've been following you guys for a long time. I'm really going to be part of it. And I will make sure all the athletes I know will be part of it.
Thank you.
All right? Both here and in Nigeria. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Sowore, you're running for the #1.
Your name?
Okay, my name is Okun Esie.
Say that again.
Okun Esie. Say you're running for #1 man in Nigeria, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, right? Yes. Before I ask my question, I'm just going to give you one first advice. If you know you want to run for that appointment, don't even look at time. Now I see your guys or your team looking at their time that you're going to be there and you'll be in New York. America is very, very safe.
We're just kidding about that.
Okay, America is very, very safe. So don't look at time, number one. To people, it's consultation, but for me, right? It's not the time between consultations, right? I've done it with government before. You don't sleep.
Yeah.
Don't even go after. You said you're going to build a coalition. What are you going to do to Federal House of Reps, State House of Assembly, right? I'm not talking about senators right now. Somebody asked you a question about, I saw it on one of these Facebook things that they asked you about how long is it going to take you to get your team down, the ministers. You said something about president that took him almost 6 months or 8 months. And it's going to take you a week
Yeah.
to get how many ministers?
I don't know how many ministers you want to pick. But is ministers the problem, or how are you going to deal with the palm session for every ministry in Nigeria? Please tell me this. People don't know anything about government. They just come out here and say, it's the president, this, that, this, that. Look, if you appoint one very good person here as a minister, let's pick Mr. Williams, right? Then you want to take him as a minister, or you want to take, let's say, doctor. There's doctor here as the minister for health, or lawyer for minister for justice. They don't know anything about the government. They are not corrupt people. But there's ministries that they are going to run. How are you going to deal with those evil servants? How are you going to deal with civil servants? They spent 20, 25 years in that ministry. Are you going to clear the whole ministry, or what are you going to do? People don't know anything about government. I've been there, I've run and looked at you. That you say you want to come along for number one. I don't know which constituency you are from. If you don't go for anything in constituency, you said you're going for Unilag. Okay, Unilag is university, okay, it's one campus. It's big. I don't know, but if you go for local government, you go for local government. You want to go for assembly, you go for house. It's a lot of things you think about. You are from Ondo State, I guess. I don't know which unit you are from. If people from your unit knows you, if people from your local government knows you, but you want to go for number one, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please tell me what you're going to do to civil servants.
Thank you very much.
Can we take one? Is that it? No, just one. Can we take one more? No, one more.
Oh, you have a question? Okay. Just ask, yeah. We have a lot of respect for women.
Yes. My question is, when are we, the diaspora, going to start voting? Because I was just asking my husband, I said, I need to go to Nigeria and get my voter's card.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So that we can vote.
Yeah. Thank you. I will start with your question. It's unfortunate that the biggest foreign investors into Nigeria, the diaspora community, are not allowed to vote. It will be one of my first acts in office when I win. We will get diaspora voting in the mail. That is, I will do everything it can take to make sure that people in diaspora can vote, because you are contributing a lot to that country and you deserve the right to be allowed to vote. Another thing that they do that I hate is there is no reason why a Nigerian should ever be asked to collect a visa to visit Nigeria, whether he has abandoned the citizenship or not. Yes, if you are a Nigerian, you must be accorded that special status. You go to the airport in Nigeria and you are allowed to enter after you give them your particulars, the Nigerian passport. But it won't be that because you have an American passport, you cannot go to Nigeria. You have to go and obtain a visa to visit your own country. It's ridiculous. So diaspora voting is in the back. Don't worry, you can go and rest now. So, Bolaji, you asked about other candidates. I am excited that young people in Nigeria have found their voice. And all these candidates that have come out is a sign that finally we have realized that it is our time. However, the question keeps coming, would we divide the vote of young people? No, we must also not discourage competition. It is not just enough to say because we are young, we will vote for you. No. I have challenged other candidates who are young, like myself, to demonstrate capacity, demonstrate diversity, and to demonstrate readiness and responsibility by stepping out of their comfort zones. I am not bragging. I think I'm the only candidate who is running, aspirant who is running for presidency of Nigeria, who has left his own zone, region of Nigeria, and went to another zone. I've been to Kano. I've not seen other people gone beyond even Abuja. I have been to Kaduna and addressed Nigerians inside Arewa House. I've been in Abuja, and everywhere we go, you can see the crowd. Because it's a matter of engagement and connection with the voters.
We are interacting with them. Everywhere I've been so far, I've never gone with a single police officer.
Yeah, that I know.
You can see that. And I went to Owerri. And in Owerri, I challenged Rocha Sokorocha that if there was a world court that punishes people for not performing in any state, Rocha Sokorocha should be taken to that court, International Criminal Court on infrastructure. He has destroyed Owerri. It took us longer to travel from Owerri Airport to the place where we had the meeting than it took us from Lagos to Owerri. There's nothing, Owerri is ground zero. The guy did nothing there. He was just rewarding himself and his family with contracts.
Yeah, of happiness.
Is the one that created a commissioner for happiness, and nobody is happy in Imo State. So, youth votes should go for the youth that is competent. We cannot be having a conversation about, we have to divide the votes. No, all the votes of young people must go to the youth that can appropriately represent their aspirations. But I welcome a collaboration. I've actually met Kingsley Moghalu, and I like him. And I joke about it that he will be a great central bank governor in our government. But as a joke, the guy is competent, like myself, to be president of Nigeria. Very highly intellectual guy. But there's another thing that Nigeria needs that you cannot discountenance, and that's the biggest quality our leader in the next election would need, or the next president of Nigeria. You cannot have a Nigerian leader that is not rugged. Yes.
That's why.
Otherwise, these people will just come there, you will abandon the office for them. They will run you out of town. So it's not something that an Ajebota can do. It has to be an Ajepako business. And I've been in this business of Ajepako for a long time.
That's right.
Yes. Me, I've been to prison like 8 times. There's no police station in Lagos in those days, including what they call Area F. We call it Area Finish. Because the moment you enter the cell like this, you are finished.
Yes.
I went in there, I've been detained with armed robbers before at SARS in Lagos there. I've been detained inside what they call Inter Center, where they keep coup plotters. In my 20s. So a lot of the other guys, I don't know how rugged they are. And I'm worried about their ruggedness. I think that's just my worry. Because this next stage, you are dealing with big kahunas and hyenas. And they're not just going to be watching a young president who is not rugged. They will run circles around you. And they will run you out of town. But you guarantee that they know who they know. Even amongst them, they are hoping that the youth will go and elect one of their softies to come and be presidential candidate. They will be very happy. In fact, if we give them somebody that they like, the person will have too much money to run the election. They'll just be contributing to him. But if we select one of our strongest, they know that the battle line is drawn. And there are lines that you cannot cross with some of us. Because I am not afraid of paternalism, like, oh, I'm older than you. No. The oldest person is the person who has the strongest mind, as far as I'm concerned. If we want to have a new dawn, we must wake up in the morning. Otherwise, it will be too late. You can't call it dawn if you wake up at 12 noon. Right? So the new dawn is coming, the new era is coming. We must present our best. Nigeria's problem has always been that instead of playing the game with our first 11, we have been playing the game with our third 11. Yes. The youth must not make that same mistake. We must get behind one of our strongest. And the records speak for themselves. So, and that answers the question from our brother who is saying that, can you be Nigeria president? No, Nigeria president don't have to be a former local government councillor. No. The Nigerian president has to be the person who's got character, who's got strength, who's got courage, who's got capacity, intellect. Because the Nigerian president don't even have to be a PhD holder. That's why we voted this last man there. Because the man who had a PhD was such a great disappointment that we went for the guy who they said had the NEPA bill as certificates. You know. But now we know better, because the president of a country is the chief of everything. Is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So if you say the president must be a former local government, the country might as well go and look for a general, because we need the armed forces to command. He's the chief economist of the country. He's the chief human resources manager of the country. He's the chief motivator of his countrymen. He's the chief mourner when people die. Those are the roles of presidents. It's not something that you can learn. There's no university that teaches people how to become president. There's no degree from any university that says you are entering as year one, and by the time you finish, you'll be qualified as the president of any country in the world. Because they can't teach you. Because it includes competence, it includes character, it has a whole range of things. And I'm not bragging, I have been through it. It includes exposure. You know, and education is not literacy alone. No. In fact, if we were to reduce it to education, I'm probably more qualified than anybody, because I'm the only person who has ever been to an Ivy League school to learn, to obtain a degree in public administration. I have a master's degree in public administration with concentration in law and public policy from Columbia University here in New York. And the reason I went to Columbia will be funny to you guys. I was expelled at the University of Lagos because they said I was layabout. That's the reason we were protesting and rioting, Professor would know, was because we didn't want to go to class. So when I was done with Nigeria, I came to an Ivy League school to show that I wasn't a layabout, that I can compete anywhere in the world. And the same thing applies to a lot of us sitting down here. I'm sure a lot of you are sitting on top of all kinds of degrees. Yes, some of you have like 3 to 4 degrees. It's just all over the place. We are collecting them like, you know, like we are collecting them like pure water, as they say. Sports. The only thing I can announce to you is that I'm probably a stronger sportsman than any one of you who is in the 10,000 range. You know the kind of sports I do. West brother was about sports. Don't talk about it.
You step aside.
Yes. Okay. I am a long distance runner.
I am one too.
Yes. How many marathons have you done?
I have done 5 of them before I left.
Okay, I've done 8 marathons.
Okay, so
between
close.
Between 2014 and last year. Last year I did the New York State New York City marathon, and I finished under 4 hours. He would know what it means. Yes, to finish a marathon in less than 4 hours. That's why I can stand in front of you for 4 hours speaking and I won't shake. Yes. So now you get a president that, as they say in America, you buy one, you get one free. And that's the other one is a sportsman.
Yes.
Yes. So I know sports like the back of my hand. I want sports is going to be part of what is our Spicer Hits, which forms part of tourism. Nigeria could make a lot of money from.
That is where they are losing money.
Yes. And guess what? Nigerians are the most interesting people when it comes to sports.
We are the happiest.
We do not love our own sports, but we embrace the sports from other lands. Every Nigerian has 2 things, especially in the urban areas. Not everywhere. They have a religion. They have 2 religions, sports and the other religion. And there's no one you meet. It's either a fan of Arsenal or Man U, but there's no more fans of Baba or Baba. People used to be proud to be fan club of stationery stores and ICC in the back. We must bring that back.
Yes.
It's part of what we must take back.
Yeah.
So, very good question, Mr. Okon.
SN about civil service. Yeah, no, I didn't want to say that, yes, but part of what we have proposed is civil service reform. And one of the things we want to do is that Nigeria has about 900,000 federal workers. Out of the 900,000, 21% of them are ghost workers. They just discovered 80,000 policemen about 4 weeks ago as ghost workers. So, yes, ghost workers. These are workers that are getting paid but don't exist. No, they're dead. No, some of them are dead, some of them are not. Some of them just don't exist. The more the salaries are going into the pocket of it's not. It's the sometimes it's not even the IG. It's the paymaster general. The richest people in those agencies are the civil servants. There was a time that a pastor died in Nigeria who was a civil servant, and when he had a wife in real life and he has a concubine, and when he died, the concubine and the wife were fighting and they found 42 billion naira in his account. Wow. Yes, in Abuja. These are civil servants. But guess what? Our laws, inadvertently, our judiciary also confers legitimacy on that corruption. Let me just explain it to you in a simple way. If you commit a crime in Nigeria and they are bailing you out, the judge will ask you to go and bring a bailer, a bail bond from a civil servant with 2 houses in Abuja. In the first place, his salary cannot buy 1 house, but the judge is asking him to go and produce a surety with 2 houses. And you will find the civil servant who will gladly come with 5 houses. And his salary will be 100,000 naira per month. There are civil servants that have hotels in Abuja. There are civil servants that have houses, they have lands. There are civil servants that have houses that are bigger than hospitals in Abuja. No, you're not making this up. So we have to reform the civil service. The older directors, we said, if you have spent 30 years, when we win, we will incentivize you to leave the civil service. We'll pay you 5 years in advance, but without physically kind of removing them, we are not going to create the opportunity to have a modern civil service. Because what is happening with the civil service in Nigeria is that they have got to a point where they don't work anymore for the country. They work for themselves. You find civil servants who have companies. They are not even hiding it. They are registered companies and they are locating contracts directly signed by them. Conflict of interest to these companies. They are all over the place. You know, it's just unconscionable what the civil service has become. So the reform has to happen immediately from day one. And I guarantee you that there will be pushback. It's part of the reason why we are proposing a living wage for the workers in Nigeria. Workers in Nigeria currently are taking home, the least paid worker is taking home 18,000 naira, equivalent of $50. It doesn't buy a recharge card. You cannot ask a soldier to go and die for you in Maiduguri with 56,000 salary. His loyalty will be tested. Some of them don't even have life insurance, but when the son of the president falls off the bike, he's flown to Germany. But when our soldiers get into accidents or they are shot at or their skulls are broken by bombs, they don't even take them away from the war front. So, and then you have senators who are collecting 13.5 million naira per month. And a senator's salary allowances per year is more than the total salary of a civil servant for 35 years. When you are getting these facts and figures from me, and I'm not looking at a book, are you now convinced that you have a competent person running for president? Somebody was complaining that I shouldn't be looking at time. So I want to tire you guys out. Everyone is calling us. Thank you very much. Federal House of Reps, the people we are sending there. Again, that's why we are working with the coalition of parties. So that
we can encourage them to send competent people to go and represent them in these very important places. Somebody mentioned judiciary, and I don't want us to go away without talking about the judiciary. The judiciary is very, very important, and Nigerian judiciary is also as corrupt as the civil service. Of course, judicial officers are civil servants too. But you know what? We know them. It just requires political will to clean up the judiciary. That is the job of a president that knows what he's doing. Judges that are corrupt are the easiest people to catch. You all live in America here. You know, worst case scenario, they will set them up with police detectives. And the moment you are caught red-handed, you cannot sit on the throne of justice and be dispensing justice anywhere anymore. So even if we want to start on a claim, there's one justice called Justice Kayode Esho late. He led a panel that investigated all the corruption in the Nigerian judiciary, submitted a list with names of judges that are supposed to be purged out of the judiciary. They are still there till today. This is a government inquiry where they issued white paper. So many of the judges are still there today. When Buhari came and people thought he was serious, he went after some judges. Nigerians were clapping for them. But they also went behind and turned it into a tribal thing. The judges that were caught in the north were not punished. It was only the ones that were caught in the south that went to trial. And people started not taking them serious because when Buhari was elected as president, people thought he would become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But by his own actions and pronouncements, or inactions, he became the senior prefect of Daura High School before our very eyes. And when we say this, some people say, oh, you know, don't name call Buhari. We have to. There's no way we can make this change happen without calling people out, either over their excesses or their inactions. And there's been a lot of infringement. If Buhari was a perfect candidate, I wouldn't be running to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But they are all not competent to continue to rule over us. And their time is up. Enough.
It's enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. Please put your hands together again for Mr. Omoyele. I'm sure a lot of us are tired even while sitting. And you can imagine the gentleman standing for almost 2 hours now, taking all the questions and not showing any sign of being tired. At this point, we'd like to thank our host, Mr. and Mrs. Honorable Guyinka. Mr. and Mrs. Oguyinka, and also members of the United Nigerian Association of New Jersey. We thank you very much for giving us a chance to address you, to have allowed Omoyele Sowore to share his vision with you. We believe that we are going to be part of the struggle to take back our country. We have a GoFundMe account, which is GoFundMe.com/Sowore2019. Please contribute to the fund, and also we welcome your ideas, we welcome your suggestions to ensure that we take back our country. Thank you. God bless.
Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. Our future.